Hey folks, welcome back to the Portable Gamer. Welcome back to European Truck Simulator 2, and we're down in Valencia right now. We're going to pick up some pork, I believe. Yeah. We're going to pick up some pork. We're going to take it across the new southern part of the map that's been added for Spain in Pro Mods. And there's I don't want to say a lot going on. Yeah, I guess you could say there's a lot going on. Man, how far is this thing? I'm driving without the mini map now, but from time to time, 18 kilometers. Okay. No. That's what I want. From time to time, I think we're going to have to take a look. I've got the little GPS in the corner. I've also got the trailer stability turned down to essentially 0. So we're trying to spice things up a little bit. Add a little bit of challenge to our program here. Man, I'll tell you. So let me bring you up to speed on what's going on since last we met. So we've got we're in our MP3 Actros, and I did skin it. Check it. That's just a regular corporate skin with the safety bumper and everything. And I also skinned the Volvo, but I skinned the Volvo a little bit differently because it is a rigid for now. And I know there's a way with those rigid conversions. I know there's a way to skin both the cab and the box. But at the moment, I'm not able to figure it out. So what's happening is it keeps putting my cabin skin onto the box, and it's all like jibber-jabbered and sideways and distorted and overlapping. It's no good. So for now, we've got a skin on the cabin, and then we just have the box white. Going for it. Man, let me cool down a little bit. Let me come in off at the ledge and tell you what's going on. So yeah, I skinned this. Now the trailer that we have on here, this is an owned trailer, also by Cast, and a carry, and it's called the City Trailer. It's a little short, kind of stubby trailer, and I thought since the Actros is a short, kind of stubby city truck, instead of going with giant tandems and four-axle trailers like I like to use, let's switch it up a little bit and go with something a lot more compact and a lot more suited to city driving. So that's what we've got. So our last trip was in the Volvo in the rigid, and we traveled up into sort of northeastern, I guess, Sweden. Not quite all the way up, but pretty far. And the goal was to get down into Spain while it's still sort of autumn. And man, this is tricky. Okay, I can barely see that little GPS down there. And then I got some complaints about Spain. I got some beef, some Spanish beef, you could say. We'll get to that in a minute. Like I said, as I continue to cool down, we'll get to that. So I wanted to spend some time down here in Spain while we still had a little bit of autumn left, like in the real world. And then I'm going to make my turn at Bilbao and head up north. And as we get into the UK, then we'll bring in the Grimes late autumn, early winter weather. And where do we want to go here? This way? Yes. Late autumn, early winter weather. And then as we get up north in the UK, as we get ready to go into Iceland, then obviously it's always winter in Iceland, so that'll be fine. So that's what's going on. We're gonna take some pork. And we're not going to take it too far because I want to touch all the cities in the southern area, and there's nothing going to the southernmost city. There's nothing going to the southernmost city. Are you seeing how narrow this is? This is my Spanish beef. There's nothing going to that southernmost city from Valencia, so we're going to need to do it in like 2 trips to try to get down there. I think you'll see when I look at the map, I'll show you the map, and it might make sense. It might not. Nothing is making sense right now. Oh, man. So I did, I don't know, how do you want to stay immersed? We went from is it Gavla in Sweden. We went from there back to Reims. Let's say we flew back. We handed off the Volvo to one of our other drivers, and we flew back to Reims. We got in our Actros, and from Reims we drove to Basel, And then from there, we drove to Innsbruck, and then from Innsbruck back to Zurich, and then from Zurich to Nice, which was a fantastic trip. Loved it. And then, do we want to be over here? Do we? It's so hard to see on this little map. I think we do. Yep, I think we made the right choice. And then from Nice down to Barcelona, and after I got into Spain, I had a game crash. First one I've had in weeks, months maybe. Yeah. And then I was recording driving from Barcelona to Valencia, and I had 3 crashes. And that's when I started to get hot. Because Spain is, now I don't know this exactly, this is supposition on my part, but as I understand it, ProMods is a group of modders and map makers, and different modders and map makers have responsibility for different areas of ProMods. And as I'm told, as I understand it, one person has built, or one crew has built and is building Spain. Now I don't know if this is like an homage to Spanish road building in real life, but I find many parts of Spain to be ridiculously narrow and steep. So a ramp, now this one is, to me, this is like an appropriate ramp. But there's some stuff down around Barcelona. It's weird because you get in there and the highway system is like wide open and, you know, super complex and lots of crossovers and great signage, and it's, you know, but then you hit a ramp and it's like, the ramp is, it's got guardrails on both sides. No breakdown lane. It is the width of a truck and no more. And then it turns like 270 degrees in the length of a truck with a 20% grade. And I'm looking at this like, is this supposed to be like having a little bit of fun with how the map maker feels Spanish roads are made? You know, in the same way that Rust Map is like super bumpy and there's cars parked like sticking out on the road. I feel like that is an homage to Russian roads, and right, having a little fun with it. And I like having fun with it, but I also like, you've seen all these hitches and pauses. I'm scared. I don't know if we're going to make it all the way through the video, and I'm not going to record it again, so if the game does crash, as unprofessional, as bad a YouTuber as it might make me, if the game crashes, let me just go ahead and say goodbye now, because it might just fade to black, yo. I don't know if I can do this a 4th time. So I don't know if, I mean, there's so much obvious time and effort put into this. I'm told that that Barcelona took 1 full year for that map maker to build. So there's obviously a ton of time and effort and research put into it. It doesn't seem slapped together. And yet those ramps and how tight things are, I mean, I get that things are intentionally tight and confusing to be challenging, but then there's some, every time it does that, I'm like, okay, here we go. Game crash. So I like challenging, but I don't like contrived and unrealistic and just, you know, kind of goofy for goofy's sake. And that's what it feels like in some of those areas. And then on top of that, out on the freeway, when you're out like in the countryside, there are these random bumps that are so big that they actually slow the truck down. Like I can have the cruise control set at 90 kilometers an hour and I hit one of those bumps and it'll slow the truck down to like 70. Like they're that big. And I think that's not, you know, there are too many of them. Like I could see if it was transitioning from like one tile to the next or something, but there's too many of them. There's no way that a map maker would, I mean, you can't not know that those are in the map. And so I think that they have to be intentional. So we're taking pork to Teruel, which is 221 kilometers, short trip. Right. We are in first. Where is our, there it is. So when I had some of those crashes, I went to the ProMods forum and looked it up, and you know, I'm sort of on the fence about this. I sort of go both ways about this, because when you have a problem, so I type in ProMods Spain toll booth crashes or toll booth CTD, right? And it doesn't matter what sim you're in, and it doesn't matter what mod you're having problems with. You go and look, and they all say pretty much the same thing, which is turn off all your other mods but mine. And it's like, I mean, I get that, and that is valid advice, right? Or when people will say, like, turn off every mod but mine, and then bring them back in one at a time. And I think, okay, you know, I get that that is, in a way, like, I don't want to say the only advice, but that is, I mean, that is technically, like, that's the solution. That works. But the problem is, like, I'm running 100 mods. This thing is really nimble and flexible. It's whipping around on me. There we go. Whew. So, set the brake lights off, engine off. Let's get loaded up. So I get that is valid advice. You know, it really is. But the idea that somebody would just not run any mods, to me, is not realistic. But at the same time, you know, I have to acknowledge that mod makers can't build their mod to be compatible with every possible combination of mods that anybody could be running in the real world. There's just too many combinations. So you make your mod, and then it's up to the sim gamer to figure that shit out. And that's fair. I don't think there's any other way to do it. I'm not being an ass when I say that, but there's really no, like, there's no possible way that a mod maker could consider every possible combination of mods that anybody could be running on any type of system, different graphics cards, different drivers, different this, different that. There's just no way you could take all that into consideration and make a mod that was like 100% compatible. I'm amazed that these mods are as compatible as they are when you think about all the stuff that we have in our mod folders. So I get that. It is the appropriate, and really it's the only answer. Turn off all your mods, just run mine. But at the same time, every time I see it, I'm like, oh man. Because it's also not really workable. You know, so we do need to consult our crash logs and our developer console, and you know, we need to see what's red, and we need to figure it out ourselves. We just do. And that's very satisfying when you can figure it out yourself, but it's very frustrating when you can't. And so it's been kind of frustrating, and I have to say, you know, between those two things, between the huge invisible bumps on the highway and also the super tight ramps, I'm sort of over Spain. I'm really looking forward to making the turn up north. I mean, we'll do it. This is new. This is a new area in Pro Mods, and I like to check out the new areas. So we'll do it. But it's... You know what I'm saying? It's like that. So it's been a bit of a morning. And I'm trying to think what else is going on. Did we just turn the wrong way? This is... Yeah. Yeah, minimap is tough, man. Especially in this area because it's all so tight. Okay, I think we got to go around the block here. Well, at least we know where not to go next time. So yeah, it's in my personal opinion, Spain is not up to the quality. It's not the same quality as the rest of Pro Mods. It runs slower, and it's got a lot of what I can only describe as sort of contrived challenges, unrealistic challenges, and I really don't like it. So looking forward to being up out of here. And now we haven't been to Greece yet, which is the other new area. And you know, as I think about how big this map is, like, as much as I play this sim, I've discovered 10% of the map. It's massive. And I don't know if I'm going to be able to get through Spain, up the UK in late autumn, Iceland, Scandinavia to the North Cape, and then down Eastern Europe into Greece. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do that before the next Pro Mods version comes out. You know, because at one episode a week, it'll take a while. So I don't know. I mean, I'm just kind of playing it by ear, and you know, whatever happens, happens. We'll just go with it. But yeah, man, it's been a morning. It has been a morning, no doubt. So I need to get this done. It is 1:45 right now, and it is NFL Sunday in America. Now, my beloved Steelers played Thursday night, so they're off today. They don't play again till next Sunday. So I don't need to be like, at exactly 1 o'clock. I don't need to be like flipping on the game. But it is NFL Sunday, so that's as soon as I'm done with this, I'm going to put it into render. I'm going to watch some games. That'll be fantastic. It always is. Can't believe it's week 10 already. 16 weeks in the NFL season. 17 really, because every team gets a week off. But I can't believe the season is like 60% over. Time flies, man. I can't believe how fast time flies. Where I am in America, we had our first hard frost last night. So that's always, obviously, it's a sign of autumn. But for me, that's like kind of emotionally a sign of autumn. Like, it's definitely autumn. If I owned a home, if I had patio furniture, I'd be bringing it in right now. But I don't own a home or patio furniture, so I don't need to deal with that crap. Get up around here. Yeah, I'm hoping I see one of the ramps that I'm talking about or thinking about. Like, that to me is pretty narrow right there. Not overly so, but that's pretty tight. I'll see if we can find a good one. And it's not like I don't want to be hateful about it. I'm not mad or anything. It's just not my particular brand of vodka. It doesn't do it for me. It is challenging, but so is carrying a glass of water without spilling one drop. Doesn't mean it's necessarily the most fun activity. So we'll see. And still no release date on Beyond the Baltic Sea, and I'm beginning to wonder if that's not being pushed back to the 1.33 patch. I don't know. SCS, they've been busy bees. We just had a couple things drop for ATS. This could be a good example of what I'm talking about. Maybe. Now, of course, now it won't happen, and then you'll never see it. You'll think I'm a crazy person. Maybe you think that anyway. Yeah, no, this has a little bit of a breakdown lane there on the right, just to give us a little room to cut the trailer in. Imagine if that guardrail on the right was over the fog stripe, and we were trying to like just hover in this area right here, and this was like a 20% grade and blind. And it's like, okay, I feel you trying to challenge me, but I also feel like you're just being kind of silly. Anyway, enough about that. So yeah, two new DLC just dropped for ATS, one free, one paid. And I mean, to me, that tells me SCS has been busy. Good for them. But I don't know what is going on with Beyond the Baltic Sea. It's not a deal breaker either way. I'm not even there. Like, I'm not even on that part of the map, so it's kind of like, who cares, It's it'll be done when it's done. This is one of these. This way, this way, this way. No, that way. Oh, game. Try to jump out here in front of this guy. This guy. And then we don't want this one. We want this one. Is it this one? It's this one. Okay. Trying to turn my turn signal off. It's trying to turn itself off, so that means I'm turning it back on. Oh, it's just a scene up in here. Right. Back on the highway, finally. And I don't think we need to sleep, at least till we get to this next drop-off. We just slept before we picked up. And depending on how we're doing when we get there, it's only 220 kilometers. So depending on how we're doing when we get there, I'm probably just going to call it. I'm probably just going to, like, consider myself lucky and call it. Because it's been such an ordeal to get here. And we're at 20 minutes, so I'm going to go ahead and say goodbye now. And if we do have a crash, I hate to end an episode that way, but like I said, I can't do it again. I can't record a fourth time, and I hate to hate to leave you hanging. I'm trying to stick to a schedule, and this is my Monday video. ETS is our Monday video, you know that. So, now where? Well, it looks like we can only go straight. Maybe. Ah! Oh, this is working my nerves, man. Holy smokes. Down here now? No, not down here. Yes? No. Oh my God. I mean, I guess when I think of challenges, I think it needs to be workable. You know, it can't be, you know, it's like Thanksgiving's coming up, right? I might be around kids on Thanksgiving. I have to say I'm not a fan of kids. I'm really not a fan of adults either. Just not a people person. But I'm going to be around kids. And kids, you know, they get silly, they get bored. That's fine. They're just kids being kids. But it's like a kid walks up to you and says, hey, guess what? You say, what? And they say, that's what. And it's like, you know, it's not really fair, because saying, hey, guess what, to somebody, you know, 99 times out of 100, the response is, what? So, you know what I mean? It's like, it's not really, it's kind of shooting fish in a barrel. So, if somebody walks up to you and says, hey, I got a riddle for you, and you say, okay, lay it on me, and they say, guess what? And you say, oh, that's a tough one. I'm tempted to say what, but I feel like that's not the right answer. I give up. Right? At least you had a fighting chance. I don't know how far down we have to go before we can turn around. Oh, this is ridiculous. It's 221 kilometers. It's going to take us a month to get there. Right. So we stay on or we get off? I'm going over here. Oh, why is it so narrow? So you see what I'm saying? At least you had a fighting chance. I feel like some of these ramps, you know, obviously they're designed to be challenging, but don't challenge me to the point where it's like you're just messing with me. That's not challenging. That's just messing with me. Perhaps this would be easier if we had the mini-map on, but unfortunately I picked this episode to run with the mini-map off, so we're just going for it. Alright. It's like a tour of Valencia. We're just going to drive around. Big Ben, Parliament. We're never going to leave. We're going to be a local driver. Oh dear. Is it just me, or does that car have no wheels? No, it's got wheels. Right. You take your time, sir. Precious cargo. No, really, take your time. It looks like it's floating, too. I don't know, man. I don't know. I have a love-hate relationship with this game, and today is not love. That's right. To the left. You be on your... Oh, don't crash. Oh, I swear, don't crash. Right. Once again, we're going to get out on the highway. We were just here, weren't we? Yeah, we sure were. Pulling in front of this guy. Well, you know what? We'll Groundhog Day this a few more times. If we just keep driving the same route, making wrong turns, eventually there'll be no more wrong turns to make. It's like buying a used car and it just keeps having massive problems, and you keep putting money into it until there's like nothing left to fix. You ever do that? You ever buy a used car for like $4 grand or something, and a month later it needs a new transmission and it's like $2,500, and you're like, okay, there you go. And then a month after that, it needs like timing belt or head gasket or something, another $1,000, and you're like, okay, there you go. And then a month after that, it's like, I don't know, brakes and rotors or something, another $800. Okay, there you go. And eventually, it's like, what is it? The Ship of Theseus. Is that it? Yeah, the ship that every timber had been replaced. Is it still the ship? You know what I'm saying? Oh, you know what? If I get lost again, I don't know what to do at that point. If I get lost again, should I just call it? Well, all right, we got no choice here. But then, was it this one? We went there. We can't go there. We gotta go here. Okay. What the hell, man? We can't go there. Jesus. Okay. "30 minutes. We have not left our home city yet, or our starting city yet." All right. This is like a quest now. This is my white whale. This is my I don't know what's white whale in Spanish. Well, whatever it is. Right. You know what? This is actually a good opportunity. We can compare what's on the GPS with what's on the mini-map. See what is jacking me up here. What's so confusing to me about all this. Right. That's not sending us back again, is it? I mean, we're getting... Our destination mileage is counting down, so... We are getting closer. We are not... Is it this one? Left or right? What the hell? We went that way before. Jesus. Is this just gonna keep happening? Yeah, man, I'm sorry. This is not... Like, I don't find this challenging. I find this really ridiculous. And I have to say, like, I wasn't a fan of Spain before because of the massive frame rate drops, but this is just kind of silly, I think. I mean, I'd like to think that I'm a fairly bright guy, and I've certainly played this sim enough that I can find my way around a city, but this is just... Like, I'm really not clear on what's happening right now. So we were just back here a minute ago, too. Yeah, okay, we're going to do this one more time. No, actually, we're not. We're going to do this 1,000 times until it works, because this is ridiculous. And this also, to me, this really has the feeling of somebody being cute. And I have to tell you, I'm absolutely not a fan of cute. You know, it's 2018. And there's a lot of really cute people in this world. And the reason they're cute is because in 2018, you can't punch somebody in the face anymore. And, you know, we have... I don't get political up in here, but this is going to be right on the verge of being political. We've had a bunch of shootings in America in the past few weeks because you can't punch people in the face anymore. And I feel like punching people in the face is a great opportunity for both parties. If somebody's being cute, you can punch them in the face and you feel a lot better. And the other person, the person who's being cute, like, they realize, usually sometime in high school, golly, a lot of people want to punch me in the face. Maybe I'm an asshole. Huh, I should look into that. And I feel like it really is a good way for people to learn to don't be cute. But you can't do that anymore. And so you have two problems. You have one problem is you have a lot of people being cute, and they just there's no reason to stop. You know, it's like the internet. You can be whatever you want on the internet, and nobody can stop you. And people are really just unbelievable a-holes on the internet. And I mean, really, there's nothing that can happen to stop that, and they know that. That's why they do it. And then the other problem is people get so frustrated with the cuteness that they snap. Now, to be fair, if you shoot a bunch of people or something, there's something wrong with you. You want to try over here? This is the one we haven't taken yet. Hey. Good grief. And I'm not saying that, people pissing you off is a reason to, like, shoot up a bar. It's not. But I am, and obviously a person that does that is some kind of a lunatic. You got a loose wire there, Captain. But I can say that the tension in this country right now, and sort of in the whole world, is that people are being so horrible to one another because there's no reason not to be. There are no consequences, and so much of our communication is online at this point. You can be horrible and nothing bad happens. And I think it's building up, and it's making it impossible for us to communicate with each other. It's making it impossible for us to solve problems and work things out. It's making it impossible for us to find a middle ground. Because one person says, like, hey, let's not argue, let's try to find a middle ground. And the other person is like, or you could go fuck yourself. Oh, all right. I guess we won't find any middle ground. And I feel like back in the day, that if you said to somebody, hey, man, let's not fight about this, and the other person said, no, let's fight. If you were face to face, okay, let's fight. You can punch them in the face. But now you can't do that. So it builds up. So that's my personal beef with cute. And I'm not saying I want to, like, punch this person in the face, but I feel like cute, it's like, no more cute, please. We've had enough cute. And this whole Spain area, to me, feels cute. Not a fan. Right, that was both a rant and some navigation. But we did get out of Valencia, finally. You know what it's going to tell me right now? It's going to tell me I need to sleep, or it's going to, or the game's going to crash. And then, oh man, I don't know. I'll have to karate kick my stuffed animals. I'll have to do something, because it's been too much today. Too much. Right. So I think, what's this guy doing? Yeah, and I mean, I don't know. I'd say all the time, like, if you don't want your Sims to be frustrating, if you want everything to be super cool, don't run mods. Everything will be super cool. Your game will be 100% reliable. It will rarely crash. Everything will be super, super awesome. But, that's sort of not how we get down. But at that point, now what's going on? But at that point, does the game have legs? Is it worth keeping it going? I don't know. I mean, for me, I think the answer would be no. I think it's, I see people online say that they're, like, addicted to pro mods and addicted to DLC and stuff. I don't know if I'd take it so far as to say addicted, but I will say that without mods, to me, this game wouldn't be worth playing, and I guess that means I need to keep the mods flowing. The spice must flow, yo. I did now, since last episode, I told you I backed the trailer stability down to almost 0, and I did reactivate sound fixes. I had to deactivate it for a while. For some reason, it was crashing out 1.32, but it's not now. So we've got that operating again, active again, whatever you want to call it, and I moved around the realistic building lights by Grimes. It's a tricky mod. I really like it. It adds a lot to the map. Adds a lot to the sim, but it's very specific. It doesn't work in a lot of places. A lot of places overwrite it. There's, you know what I mean? It's not the easiest mod to see the results of, but when you do see them, it's really cool. I like those lights on the hillside though. That's very cool. It's a very subtle effect. Very well done there. Spain gets 1 point back. Spain lost about 150 points earlier. They just got 1 back, so they're on a solid 149, negative 149 at the moment. Oh, that was rough. That was rough. You know, and I don't know how you feel about that. I've said all along I want the channel to be about me gaming, but I don't know. I don't know if that's if you think that's funny. I don't know if you think that's like inspiring. I don't know if you think it's annoying. Like, I have no idea how that plays, but that's me gaming, man. You know, and it's weird because I've seen both ends of that spectrum on YouTube. I've seen people that are just like relentlessly positive and upbeat, and I also see them like they never seem to make any mistakes. And I know how tough it is, and I think of myself as an avid sim gamer. You know, I'm certainly like no hack. I hope not. And I think how many tries it takes me to get like not necessarily a perfect video, but like if I really screw up in a video or something, I'll end the recording and start over. You know, nobody wants to see that. Little mistakes, but I see people that don't make any mistakes at all, and I'm like, are you that good, or do you like start over a lot? Could be either. And then they're also like relentlessly positive, and I'm like, you know, 'cause I mean, and obviously everybody's got a different personality, but I think, man, if you're focused like I'm focused, and you're that positive, you know, and I try to be positive, but I'm not that positive, not like that. These people are like, they're on Haldol or something, just like pumped full of Ambien. So that's one end of the spectrum, and then the other end of the spectrum is people that are like really super negative and nasty. And I hope that when I get kind of frustrated like that it doesn't play like super nasty, because I know I typically unsubscribe from people that are all negative like that. And you know, I don't know. I don't, because you can't really evaluate your own personality. You're too close to yourself. You know, you're too subjective. But I don't know if me being frustrated like that plays the same as those angry people seem to me. I hope it doesn't. Man, I really hope it doesn't. But yeah, I unsub people like that. I don't think it does. I mean, because I don't know. I mean, I don't think I'm a negative person, but I do think we all have negative experiences. You know, Spain, I have to say, Pro Mods has been pretty negative for me so far. But that doesn't mean I get to be a complete dick about it. Now, why did that tell me to get over? Is it just so I don't get off? Oh, now it's telling me I can go back. Okay. So, yeah, I mean, I don't know. I actually don't know. But I hope that isn't like upsetting or I don't know, off-putting, because it's not intended to be. It's just me sorting it out. Right, it's a little roundabout up here. It certainly is. Okay, and I don't think we're too far from our drop-off, but I think, let me check the time here. Yeah, we're on 38 minutes, so we're gonna call it as soon as we drop off here. But man, that was something. Pro Mods, yes, I won't run without it, but I feel like after I get out of Spain, I'm not coming back. Right, and we made it without a game crash too. That's very cool. Because I did have, and maybe it's more Barcelona. I don't know. But we made it, and our frame rate is pretty solid right now. Now, to be fair, Barcelona and Bilbao, and I want to say Santander, and there's a couple other cities that are just like massively complex and packed full of roads. So obviously that's going to slow you down. It's like some of the big Pro Mods airports that you go past in Germany that are just like these massive polygon monstrosities. So yes, obviously you're going to have a drop off in frame rate, but I'm not seeing that here. We're actually holding pretty good. So it could be that this area was made by the same person. There's just less complexity. Could be that it's made by a different person. Could be that it's made to the new standard, because I guess there's a new way of rendering in ETS2 that has sped the game up a little bit, which is why they redid Germany, was to be on that new standard. So we'll see. We'll see. Oh, man. Close one. Okay, now. And then the road ends. Do we go in here? I guess we have to. No, we go around the block. Okay. Yeah, man, this is one of these infinite loops. Do we go in here? I'm going to try in here. Nope. Oh, well, I guess it's fitting that we'll end the episode with some more confusion. We're looking for a right turn. We're looking for a driveway. The other one that really gets me with this is IKEA in Scandinavia, because the point where the map stops pointing is not the entrance. Is it in here? It most certainly is not. Okay. Now, did we go down here already, or is this a new one? I think we went down this one. We went down this one already. Ah. Oh, game. How I hate you. You know what? I'm done with it. I'm done with it. I've suffered enough. Okay. How'd we do? Well, we did the job okay. We're really leveling up slowly as we get up higher. There you go, folks. Thanks for stopping back to check out The Irritable Gamer. Thanks for joining us for another episode of European Truck Simulator 2. And we'll see you next time. Take care now.